Five, four, three, two, one.
Hello and welcome to the Race Hangover again. I'm one of your hosts, Austin Terry, joined by Caleb Buller, as always. And it was a race week this weekend. We had Miami, and what a race weekend it was. People don't like it. People don't like Miami a lot, but I thought it
I
was
don't get
quite
it.
entertaining. I don't
Yeah,
either. I thought it was quite entertaining race weekend, and we have quite a lot to get through. So
we do.
I think we should just crack on right into it.
I agree. Do you want to start? Because the stuff you watched kind of came first.
Yeah, disclaimer, I did not watch the race because I couldn't. I
If you follow
was
us over on Twitter, you're aware that I was updating Austin throughout.
I was at I was gonna say big boy job, but it's not really. It's not my job. So okay. So weekend weekend recap for the sprint quali. All you need to know is that Kimi Antonelli got his maiden pole on a race weekend technically, and is the youngest ever, I believe.
Yeah,
Good for the kid.
good
He
for
but what happened next is the real problem.
not good for the game. But also, it was funny. I just want to mention the meme, and I'm sure you saw it of like, the guy in the rowboat, like right in front of the massive ship, and it was like Kimmy and Nelly in front of the two McLarens.
Yeah.
Funny, funny stuff. Yeah, that's what it looked
Um,
like, and that's what it turned into because
the sprint was quite a mess. It was it started off with a rain delay, and before that rain delay, Charles Leclerc hit the wall, meaning that he could not participate in the sprint as he ruined his suspension or something like that, which was unfortunate for the Ferrari fans, which unfortunately for them signified a lot of what was to come in the actual race. But the after that, a rain delay did happen for about
half an hour,
th
28
half an
minutes,
hour. Yeah, it
being
wasn't too long.
exact.
But you knowing that off the dome is so weird.
Well, because it resumed at 12:28. Like,
But yeah, in the actual sprint, Kimi did manage to bottle P1. Astronomically, actually. It was quite brutal. He tried to go toe to toe with Piastri, and Piastri just
he got a
wasn't
bad
having
jump,
any of
to
it.
be fair.
Yeah, Piastri wasn't having any of it. Piastri got him off the jump and didn't look back. But Kimi bottled that one. But the entire sprint, there was just chaos.
My God.
There's so many incidents I've forgotten, majority of them. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was a lot of stuff, incidents happening left and right.
Yeah.
And then there was a safety car at the end to a Fernando Alonso incident, which saw Lando Norris win in a sprint Lando Norris win in Miami
Yeah.
due to
For the
another
safety
safety
car.
car, which is so funny. And people were getting so mad on Twitter.
Yeah.
Actually
Calling him a
hilarious.
safety car merchant, which is crazy.
I
But
saw them call him safety car boy. But yeah, it was they wrote out the uh safety car till the end, meaning Lando Norris just cruised home.
yeah.
The final classification for it after some post-race penalties to Alex Albon was and
Yeah.
Verstappen's happened during the race. But the classification was Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, Lewis Hamilton as your podium. Lewis Hamilton worked his way up the grid. Some delusional Ferrari fans do believe he would have won that race had the safety car not happened, but let's be real here. Lando got put on softs. He was winning that either way. But let the Ferrari fans live in their delusion. Anyways, that was the sprint.
Yeah.
And
Hold on.
later on,
I've got
oh,
some
she's got
notes.
she's got some information.
Well, I just wanted to shout out, we talked about Kimmy getting pole, which is big for the rookie, but we didn't talk about Alonso starting in 10th, which I think is really big for the other rookie.
You gotta let this joke go, man.
Why you
Every
laugh every
episode,
time?
every episode. Fernando Alonso's a rookie.
Okay. Anyway, I was also taking notes like as I was watching, and literally I just have holy everything just happened at the same time. I looked up and Sainz lost a tire, then Kimmy and Max, and then also Alonso, and then the safety car clutch. I was just like so overwhelmed the last like few laps. I was like, what the hell? And then through all of that, I missed Stroll getting points.
Mm, yeah, Stroll,
When did
Stroll
when did that
cruised his way to
happen?
P5 due to that
When?
Albon penalty and
Yeah.
the Max one,
Like
but
I
that was
literally didn't even see that happen, but okay.
it was quite good for him. Actually, I'm gonna move my camera under the light so like because half my face is like dark. This is so much better.
Mm.
Um, don't include that
Anyway,
in the video.
that's
I
all
know
I had for the sprint.
that.
I had to make my Alonso joke and then mention Stroll because he goes unmentioned often.
He does actually. That is his whole thing.
That is his
But
thing.
moving on to the quali,
Yeah.
there wasn't too much that happened that was notable, but the usual suspects were out in Q1
Yeah.
but in Q2, I'm pretty sure Lewis Hamilton did not make it. Yeah, he didn't.
Did not.
He wasn't even like 11th either. He was 12th behind Hadjar, but it's
His first time out of
it was
Q1 with Ferrari.
yeah. Yeah, I expect that to happen a lot. It is Ferrari at the end of the day. But yeah, the top three for that was Max Verstappen did get on pole for the actual race, followed by Lando Norris and Kimi Antonelli, who put in a very good Miami weekend
Yeah.
despite the
Yeah.
sprint fall apart. Oh, I didn't mention in the sprint, the Red Bull unsafe release leading
Yeah.
to yeah,
You
I
mentioned the
completely
penalty and then you just kind of, and I
yeah,
mentioned Kimmy and Max, but
yeah, it was
I
an
didn't specify
unsafe
what I meant.
release due to be fair, I felt bad for both of them because
For
they
sure.
both didn't
Wasn't
they both
Max's
didn't.
fault.
It wasn't Max's fault. Kimmy did what he could to avoid it, and he
And
was
then he didn't
already
get
just
to
having
pit.
he was having a miserable day.
Yeah.
It
He
was.
was so sad on his radio. It's like, oh no.
But my thing was on the radio when he was like, "What about Oscar?" And he's like, "They checked that dude. Like, there's nothing." And he was just like, "Interesting." What did he say?
I don't remember. But I
He
do.
said something like, "Oh, okay then," or something. Like
Like,
it was just
okay,
really
never
sassy.
mind.
But that is that was the quality. That's all I got. So you can finish this out with the race because you were the one that actually watched the race.
Okay. Well, a few other notes on quali. Well, it leads into the actual race because it was what I texted you. I was like, oh, first time Jack Doohan out qualifies Pierre in a race. And then immediately Jack Doohan DNF'd, like immediately. And while that was happening, Lando another bottle, but low-key he didn't bottle. Max shoved him off, like
Yeah.
pretty clearly, to be honest. So good for him for coming back through that. Oscar, he stays bullying Kimmy. Again, with an overtake, he's just, yeah. The McLarens really hate the kids, but McLaren said, fuck them kids.
Yeah, they were not having it with Kimmy all weekend.
Yeah, poor kid. And then Oscar obviously passes Max again, gains P1. And then while Max and Lando were fighting to the death, he gained a whole 10-second gap that obviously Lando couldn't get back. But while they were fighting, Lando overtook Max, but then they both went off track, so he just gave it back, and then he overtook him again. It was very reminiscent of Lando and Lewis, just trading places. And then speaking of trading places, Ferrari girls were fighting, almost as bad as Papaya rules, to be honest. But Hamilton was clearly so unhappy, and we got a legendary radio out of it, though. The
Oh,
Sainz was 1.4, whatever, behind. Want me to let him by as well? Crazy Lewis, but good for you, King. Um, McLaren's really pulled away at the end with a virtual safety car, let them both kind of pull away. There were three virtual safety cars, one for Ollie, one for Bortoletto, and then I totally missed the one for Liam Lawson, but he DNF'd as well. I don't know when that happened, but I looked down, looked up, and there was another gray car at the bottom, and I was like, oh, all right. Um, but that's kind of the really quick recap. Um, and then finally, news, if you don't have anything else, Austin, Miami Grand Prix extended to 2041, which
yeah. That will be
a whole lot more chaos to come, apparently.
yeah. There are like I feel bad because some of like the
Yeah,
better tracks haven't even been
are
close
rotating.
are
Yeah.
getting either taken off the calendar or just not being on the grid, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
But it
But
will
I
Miami
like
proved it can be
Miami.
an entertaining one.
Yeah.
And it gives us special liveries and a whole lot of
I don't know why everyone
random
goes,
moments.
I don't know why everyone goes so hard for Miami, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's like a
Where all the
2 year old
money is.
race, but everyone loves Miami. It's I don't know, it's probably one of the better America tracks to race
Yeah.
because
And
it
it
is
was
what it
so
is.
entertaining. Like, honestly, great weekend, jam-packed with the sprint too, and so much happened.
Mm.
A lot of penalties too. One another thing I forgot to mention. Investigator Max was back and trying to get
Investigator
George for
Bugs.
not. Hold on, there's a race car going by my house. He was back and he was trying to get George for not slowing under yellow, even though he did. But he was like, want to check George. He didn't lift. I was like, pretty sure he did, but thanks, Max. And then other
Uh,
people got investigated for not lifting. Like, anyway, very funny.
yeah.
Most year to Max's kid. I was, when that happened, I was searching so hard for the picture of him, like, and I couldn't find it. I was trying to make a tweet and I was like, where'd it go?
I saw it on like TikTok today.
Yeah, I couldn't find it, but that's okay. It'll be in this video probably, and I will have found it by then. But yeah, I think that's actually all I had, besides
Yeah,
just the clear McLaren domination.
that is, yeah. I didn't watch the. I just watched the highlights
Yeah.
a bit ago because I was at work and I was, just sneak because we have a TV in the back of my work. I was just like waddling over there, looking at the timing sheet and then waddling back over. It was a bit sad, but
And not answering my update texts, actually. I
yeah. Well, those I got to a point where I'm like, these need to take time for me to respond to fully. So I like just
You never
I
did though.
ignored them and then I just was like, nice. Like at the end of it, I just and there was so many. I was just like, oh,
What was
this
gonna
is.
say, not the air, but this is where it started, and he was kind of answering, and then don't glare, don't glare. Oh my, pause. And then it just went to a little one-sided. Says you coming back to 50 plus messages after a long day of work. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone out there ever needs updates from me, I got you. But also, if you want live updates, follow us on Twitter.
I was getting updates from like three different people, like including you, and
You
it was.
asked, to be fair.
I did. I'm not gonna lie, but it was so funny because I was getting like your updates, which was like every time something kind of crucial happened. I was getting updates
Yeah.
from my dad, and it was just Lando bottle again, haha. And then, and then like my other friend who I work with, I was just like, oh, let me know like how it goes, just in case like you missed anything. I didn't know how in depth yours were going to be. Like, I didn't know I didn't need the other th two people, but they were messaging me
Okay.
like Lando bottle wife here.
That's what I said. I said it was kind of well, it's probably on Twitter, I fear. Um, I said Lando immediate bottle, I fear. Almost got Max and drop almost got Max and then dropped to five instead. And then six, because Albano passed him.
Yeah.
Okay, but with that, did you do awards for this week?
Yes, I did.
Okay, perfect. So let's move on to awards.
That's the one thing I did do. Okay,
Amazing.
I gotta put them up on my phone because
Okay.
they're in my notes app as always.
He's just not. Mine are on my notes app, but I have a MacBook, so they're actually on my computer.
Yeah, I don't. Okay.
Whoa.
God forbid a man's poor. So
Okay,
we're gonna start with driver of the day.
we'll start with driver of the day.
I had Oscar
Really?
going P4 to P1 and then just cruising it.
Yeah,
I
but
said it's
he
driver of the
honestly
day.
he did not need to work for that P4 to P1. Like
No, but to
besides
be
the overtake on Max, but even then.
yeah, I mean
Anyway.
he took George off the start, which was impressive, and
Yeah.
then all he had to do was overtake Max. But still, being like but once he passed Max, he
Yeah.
was gone.
He was
Like there was
gone.
no
But that was
catching him.
because Lando was very much occupied.
Yeah. So, but either way, I
Yeah.
thought that
No,
was
that's
enough to give him
fair.
driver of the day.
And for once, he won driver of the day on Sky Sports, which is like finally like okay, fair enough. When
Yeah.
they're usually not. Okay. I had kind of between two. I had Lando Norris because even though he started and finished in the same position, he really did get whacked off the track at the beginning and came all the way back, which fair enough. But then also Alex Albon. He had a
Oh,
good,
I won had a great race.
yeah,
Yeah.
finished P5. I forget where he started, but it was low. Or it
Uh,
was like
uh,
eight. Anyway, he had a good race.
somewhere in Q3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then on to the next one, Comeback King.
I had Lando for that one.
I had Oscar for that one. Wait, he started four and then went one.
I had Lando because he dropped and then came straight back up.
Yeah, fair enough.
That
But
was why I'd come back.
yeah.
That's
Well,
why I
I had
didn't give him
Oscar.
driver of the day.
Yeah. Well, it was, and so we just swapped really. But Oscar, it's his first time not being on the top three in
Hmm.
after quali, so showed a bit of adversity.
Yeah. I almost took away his driver of the day because of that gritty.
It was atrocious. Oh my
That
God.
was awful.
Literally, I just kept retweeting. I was like, put that away. Like, don't do
Did
that
you,
again.
did you see
Yeah, I sent it to
Justin
you.
no you see Justin Jefferson
Yes, I
he
sent
was just fully like oh like we gotta work on that big dog.
He said, "Don't worry, I'll get my guy. Don't worry about it. We'll fix him up."
Best radio. I feel like we're gonna have
I mean, it's
one of the same.
gotta be Lewis. Like,
He was on a spree of them. People
no, no, no.
majority focused on the
I
no no no
watched it all in real
He
time.
was he was on a spree.
Yeah,
My my favorite one is him going in China. I got out of the way when you're on a different road, and he goes understood. We swapped the cars, and then he came back and went have a tea break while you're at it. Come on, that
I
one was my
know.
favorite
I
one.
heard that and I was like, so funny. Okay.
My the Invisible Man. I had Lance Stroll.
Yeah, I had Lance Stroll. Mainly because of the sprint, because he somehow managed to get points and I didn't hear his name once.
Yeah,
But then also,
mine was because in the race he was just sitting like
he's,
atop of all the grayed
yeah,
out cars,
yep,
and he did nothing. I didn't hear his name a single time in like anything anywhere.
yeah, both races. He's just always so invisible. Okay. And then brake check champion, whoever causes the most chaos.
I had two.
I do too. I
Um,
do the same too.
I have Lawson and Verstappen.
Oh, fair. I have
Yeah,
Lawson. I fear it will always be Lawson.
it'll always be him.
But then this weekend, and it's not even like they were all his fault, but I have Carlos Sainz. He was
Oh,
just
he did do a few. Yeah, he
he
had a
did lose
couple
a
incidents.
tire. He was just
Mine,
always
yeah, mine was Lawson because he slammed into Alonso
he did
and
do
Vers
that, yeah.
and I included Verstappen in that because of the there's the Kimi Antonelli on board of
Mhm.
the incident between him and Lando, and you can see him come back onto the track and then do that
Yeah.
at Lando to force
No,
him
he
off.
was
And then it
and
was
even
yeah.
who did he end up right ahead of at the end of the race? Because he was doing it
Was,
to them too. I think it was
was it Kimi?
no, it
No, it
was
was Albon.
Albon, that's what I was gonna
Yeah,
say. Um, and he was like fully braking, like he was so late. Like
yeah. It
I
was
was like, oh yeah, yeah, he's kind of like a sneaky pick for that because you usually like obviously see the ones who cause accidents more and
yeah,
are kind of at the bottom being chaos, but he
yeah,
somehow manages to drive so
yeah.
efficiently while also.
Big Daddy was up there causing chaos. He was.
God, that's so funny. Why did he do that?
Oh, that was so good. The commentators were doing it as well.
I know. Oh my God, it was crazy. But yeah, with that, congrats to Max on
Yeah,
his new
from
daughter,
becoming Big
Lily.
Daddy.
There's now too many lilies in the paddock, but that's okay.
I saw something that like Kelly's like both kids are named after flowers.
Oh, really?
And yeah, I think is the first one Rose?
I have no idea.
I don't follow it too
I don't
much. I
follow
don't.
that either.
I think the first one's called Rose. Hold
Okay.
on. I need to search this up.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to mention on
Oh
the topic.
my
Oh,
yeah, while you do that, hold
the
on.
other thing I wanted to mention on the topic of
Hold on.
chaos
Oh
was
no, it's Penelope.
oh, okay. Was what?
It's Penelope. It's not even Rose. My bad.
Like
I
close
don't
to
know where I got
Petunia,
that
but
from.
like anyway, while we were on the topic, okay, can I say my piece? While we were on the topic of chaos, which we no longer are, but the Lego Drivers Parade, so entertaining, so funny. Like put a bunch of grown men in Lego cars and apparently they have the time of their lives. Yeah.
My favorite part of the Lego race. Well, it wasn't like George Russell crashing into crashing into somebody. It was the fact that Ollie Beerman and Ocon missed the start.
You can
So
see them
they're
catching up
that
to him.
far behind everyone.
Like that, and then also, well, I liked the George Russell and obviously the Williams. Like them celebrating when they just DNF'd a Lego race is crazy, but that was funny. But then also, I forgot what I was gonna. Literally, I don't remember.
The Ferraris had the Ferrari drivers had more fun driving that
Yeah,
car than they do their actual car.
yeah. Did you see the fake radio where it was like, "Can you give me back the Lego car?" It was a Lewis Hamilton fake radio.
The Well, no, and I love the screenshots of like the images of like the drivers having the time of their fucking lives. Like
Yeah.
I Oscar hit the biggest smile I've ever seen in the back of that
He
McLaren.
smiled and
He's
then landed just like so funny. Like that screenshot I put everywhere, but it's so funny.
so
Yeah.
good.
And then oh my God, what? Well, the Kimmy did another, or not Kimmy, Yuki did another, like, thing. He was like, pretend I'm your daughter in the back of the car. And then Max is like, I got you. And then immediately crashed into the V-carb car. I was like,
One of the clips that was my favorite was everyone cutting that like really tight like chicane corner or whatever it is, and then Verstappen takes the racing line on it while no one
follows
else is
track
doing
limits.
it.
Like, what? I saw that. It was so funny. Yeah, that whole thing. I like didn't watch it live. I did not know what was going on. And then suddenly every clip I saw was just like another angle of something stupid that happened. I was like, oh my God.
What is happening?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Eventful weekend in Miami.
One of my we briefly touched on it earlier, but the liveries,
Yeah,
um,
we didn't.
they were they came out for no reason. I don't know why they do it in Miami when there's a lot of other races that probably deserve liveries. But my I don't even know if I have a favorite. There was actually like some good ones,
V-carb was
but
my
I
favorite.
can tell you which one was the worst one. It
Really?
was the Ferraris. It was
Yeah.
they're like race suits and everything, great.
A lot of people
Um,
didn't like the race suits. I didn't mind them.
I liked them, but the actual car itself was a bit awful.
It was it wasn't good and it looked
It
too much like the
just the
rookie.
red and the blue just don't combine together. It's not
They
nice.
could, but not the way that they literally cut it in half. Like
Yeah.
everyone
Um,
was saying it looked like those erasers or the like color changing Lightning McQueen.
yeah.
Someone half dipped that in some water.
I'll dip it in water. It was really funny. But everyone like the special liveries coming out.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of them. I always enjoy seeing the special liveries.
for sure.
It's fun, but sometimes the Kick Sauber one was a bit awful as well.
I didn't even notice. Oh, it was
It
the
was just a
splat. Yeah.
splatter. It was like a paint splatter.
And I didn't know
Yeah, it was. That's how bad it was. But I think the
all that
Ferraris
to
one was
retire
so
the car.
bad. I'm not gonna talk about the all that Hulkenberg to retire. But yeah, that's my piece on the liveries. That's all I have to say.
Well, what did you think of the Mercedes one? Because there were some people who disliked it.
I liked it.
I really liked it.
I didn't like their race suits,
I
however.
liked them.
I didn't.
I liked their
Um,
helmets and the race suits.
I don't know.
I liked it
I'm a
all.
big. It's a documented thing. I'm a big fan of Adidas, but
Yeah,
I wasn't a big fan of those race suits.
really. I liked them.
I just
And
couldn't.
the picture of them all lounging by the pool.
Why was George upside down?
And Kimmy was like, so,
It was unbothered, moisturized. Why is George upside down?
yeah, so funny. And then obviously V-Carb, I think they had the best one.
Yeah, yeah, by a mile.
Yeah. You just said you didn't have a favorite, and now you're like, no, I didn't like Mercedes. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying it's just like coming back to me of like what they actually look like because I didn't get to see them in action for 50 something laps.
Hey, a lot of them didn't get much action with all the rookies there.
Yeah, they also don't get a lot of airtime as well. Like
They go
they
by pretty quick.
yeah. No, I meant as in like they usually focus on the top five, if that.
Yeah,
And
and we all know
then
Ferrari's not up
unless there's a
there.
collision or a really good overtake, they'll go back to it.
Hey, well, there were lots of collisions for them, so they
Yeah.
got Bortoletto and Lawson.
Was that your phone?
No.
Really unprofessional.
Just a guy who was 10 minutes late.
Hey.
Jeez.
Now we're even. Now we're even.
No.
Yes. That's totally how that works.
Okay. Um, off week next week, correct?
Yes.
And then
Uh,
another triple header.
then it's in Imola,
Yeah.
which I'm excited for. I'm always a big fan of Imola. Um, it's it's a track that I like. I play F124. I really enjoy racing on Imola. It's and I just like the track layout, and the Italian fans always come out in full effect, and
Kimi
it's
home race.
Kimi home race.
Kimi home
Let's
race.
hope he doesn't DNF. But
What?
the Ferraris are going to somehow ruin it for the Italian fans, and
It'll be it'll be Ferrari, Ferrari, Kimi podium.
that would send Italy into like a combust like a
Sorry, it would
frenzy.
be Kimi, Ferrari, Ferrari.
That would be insane for
It's not gonna
Italy.
happen.
Like it won't happen, not
It's
even
gonna
close.
be papaya, papaya.
I don't think we see two Ferraris on the podium at
I don't
any
think we
point this
see
year.
one.
We saw one at some
No,
point.
in the future, like
Oh, in the
Italy
future?
at least.
Well, no, because the Williams are somehow faster than them right now.
Yeah,
So they're not even the fourth fastest car.
which is crazy.
Yeah, all this talk of like Ferrari got a championship. I even said it in Hot of the Tail. I was like, Lewis can win the championship. And oh boy,
Sure
how was I
can.
wrong?
Sure he can.
Uh, unless he has a they have a resurgence past this
They
week.
were unfamiliar with the Carlos Sainz effect.
The Ferrari trauma eyes he's carried to Williams. He's oh, we didn't mention the Williams signs like radio at the end where he was just
Oh
like, I'm
yeah,
really disappointed,
that
guys. I've
was
lost a
very
lot of
disappointing.
confidence. Yeah,
Yeah, he
poor,
said that's not how I race,
poor guy. He's still rich though.
which is, as my mom would say. But no, that was kind of sad because they really did just let. I mean, like obviously let them race, but like Alex just like left him. He helped Alex, and then Alex was like, "Casey, a P5," but you know.
Yeah, it happens. Poor soul.
Also, talking about sad, disappointing, whatever. I sent it to you, the Lando getting cut out of the McLaren.
Yeah, oh, that's insane. But to be fair,
Especially because Oscar
I
took another one after. He
yeah, I was
realized
gonna
and took
mention
another
that.
one.
I was gonna say like he genuinely like took a different one, and McLaren posting that one is a bit odd,
And they
but
made it their Twitter banner. I sent that to you like recently. They made it their
oh
Twitter
man,
banner. What? That's
oh
crazy.
that's oof.
Everyone's saying
It's
Lando's not going to resign after his contract's over, which I'd crush it.
I'm the problem is where would he go?
No, he'll resign for sure.
Yeah,
And the
like
two of
this
them,
is
I
as
think,
long as the
should.
car's still fast and McLaren want to keep him, he'll resign
I
because
think the two of them will stay for a
yeah,
while.
yeah.
But
I mean, Lando's contract is what it's
but they're
done in
both
like
2026, are they not?
2026, 2027. It's like
Yeah.
ages. They've
No, I
got
know.
like several years. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But the two of them, I love them both, but the two of them being on McLaren stresses me the hell out. Like during the sprint, I texted you, I was like, McLaren, nothing scares me more than a McLaren 1-2. Because
Mhm.
what's gonna happen?
I can see like if Verstappen either leaves Red Bull or decides to for some reason call it quits because sometimes he seems to get tired of racing.
Yeah,
I don't know why. But if those are the two possibilities, Horner loves Oscar.
I know, but I don't think Oscar loves Red Bull.
I I mean if
Generational trauma with his
they
father,
throw
Mark Webber.
bags of money at him and he's the guaranteed number one driver, he could. It's all
I don't
talk.
think he would. I like to think
It's
he wouldn't.
Yeah, he's got too much of a likable personality to go to Red
You
Bull
go,
at
yeah.
times. Yeah.
Well, that's why Yuki's
Um,
not doing well there.
yeah. I mean, there's different factors in why he's not doing well there.
No, it's because he's too
But
likable, guys.
yeah, I mean, people either love or hate Red Bull. There's no one that goes, okay, I'm all right with Red Bull.
That's actually how I
Um,
am. But yeah. I
but
don't hate I'm pretty indifferent to Red Bull.
I uh I like there'll be times where I like really like well I'm like, oh, Red Bull's actually quite nice, and then they'll do something and I'm like, oh. But that's to be fair with every team.
Yeah.
Every team, I'll be like, oh, they're starting to grow on me, and then something happens, and I'm like, oh, okay, no, never mind.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, I'm gonna air that guy from my high school really quick. Because so after the race, basically, I post on my story. I like to not be basic and just post the like double podium graphic
Hmm.
because I think it makes me cooler.
Yeah.
So I posted this. Oh my God, it's so dark. Hold on. Oh my God, no. Our meeting.
10 minutes left. 10 minutes left.
I wonder why. We only have 10 minutes left because someone showed up 10 minutes late. Anyway, I posted this picture, which I guess I'll put on screen anyway, but it's like whatever, double podium. And then I like just put like a nodding emoji because that's my go-to now. And some guy from my high school responds and goes, "Are you a McLaren fan?" Question mark. I said, "Yeah." He just goes, "Disgusting." And I sent a emoji, and then he didn't answer. That was it. And I was like,
Yeah.
And then
I
I
I
look, no, and then I text Austin, I'm like, okay, he's either a Red Bull fan or a Ferrari fan. And then I look through his following. You'll never guess the only team he follows. Aston Martin. What are you doing? Who are you to talk? Like,
brother is enjoying Lance Stroll racing, and we're
I can't.
yeah,
Like,
to be fair,
what?
I live with a technical Ferrari fan now because he's a Lewis Hamilton fan, but he's forced to support Ferrari. I I'm getting pelters every time Lando Norris bottles something. I'm sitting there and they're like, "Oh, boy, he's not good enough. Oscar's way better." And I'm sitting there, I'm like, "You're in P8. You have your own problems to worry about.
That was like the Ferrari, not our day. Brother, when is it your day?
It's never your day." Yeah, it's insane. I get pelters and I'm like, he is second in the championship right now with a more than a foot in the door. He's
Oh, for sure.
yeah, it's
I think it'll switch a few more times before the end of the season. Between
it'll either be Oscar leads it for a long time and then Lando takes it near the end, or it just keeps
and go
flip-flopping. There is no in
flip it.
between.
Because
Yeah.
Lando's honestly just had bad luck recently, and I feel like that'll even out.
I mean, yeah, he had like him clawing back to P2 will like that does wonders for his confidence. Plus, I feel like he's also getting that attitude of like fuck everyone else.
Yeah.
Like every like he's progressively gotten like from being really nice, well, nice-ish guy at the start of the season, and then getting the fucked over more and more and more. And then
You just
now
have to go through a
I'm
little
seeing
mental
pictures of
breakdown.
him, and he looks like he's plotting like evil things, and it's a bit like okay, he might cook soon.
He might cook.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
that's all I got.
That's all you got? That's
That's
all I
all
got.
I got.
We chatted about the two everything else chat. Awesome. Okay, well, I didn't write an outro, but that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us on What's Up?
I
You
know,
say
I was
anything?
laughing. I was laughing. I went,
Oh, I thought you said, oh.
uh, actually.
Like, what do you want to add? Sorry. Okay, well, that is all we have for the Race Hangover today. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to follow us over on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at the Race Hangover, legendary handle. And we didn't preview anything because next week's an off week, so we have to decide what we're gonna do next week. Let us know in the comments, TBD, who knows. We'll preview, and then we'll probably just come with some memes or something and clip farm.
Same thing before, yeah.
Happens. Um, Oh, by the way, follow us, subscribe on YouTube, which obviously you're watching this here, and check out our YouTube shorts because they've been doing really well.
They have been.
I don't know why YouTube Shorts loves F1, so hey,
Everyone loves F1.
what can I say? But yeah, join the conversation literally anywhere, especially Twitter. We're very active over there. TikTok, we need to get the game up. That's on
Yeah.
Austin. Anyway,
I know.
I
Ask my mom who's the hardest driver in the grid, guys.
please,
Come
please,
on.
please. I can't wait for that. You actually have to make that.
I will. I will. I might do it tomorrow. I have a free day on my hands.
Okay. Okay, well, I've been Katie the Boodler. He is Austin Terry, and we will see you in the next one.
You've been? What happened?
Race Hangover.